it
going.
stays red.
Yeah.
It's not going to time out the screen, is
No,
it?
just you can bend that forward so you can see. You know, put your nose there, put your nose. Oh,
No.
so let me get my questions on here.
There you go.
Try and okay.
Yeah, that chair's been sitting outside for like 2 years.
So yeah, we've just got down to Intrepid HQ. Is it Trepid or Tripid?
Intrepid.
Intrepid.
Yeah.
What does that actually stand for?
So it means it's like to adventure, like a dauntless explorer, to just go on and find things.
And who came up with that concept? Was it you? So you got is another partner?
Yeah, went through. Yeah, it was another
found
guy, Eddie, who started off, but he's moved on to other things a couple of years ago. But right at the beginning, yeah, we were like brainstorming loads of ideas, and Intrepid sounded right because the whole point of the cameras is to be able to like take them outside, and they're lightweight and easy to use. So they kind of fit in with it nicely.
You know, those people that come from the digital point of like perspective. What is it that you get out of film that you can't get out of a digital camera? Why would somebody go into film rather than digital?
So I think it's more about like the process. I mean, the image quality is really important, but shooting film, it takes so much more time than digital. You're not just taking like 100 pictures and then you pick the best out of the bunch. You take one picture and you make sure it's the best because you've spent so much time like making sure the light's correct, the composition's correct. You really sort of immerse yourself in the scene, which isn't something I think a lot of people necessarily do because it's so easy to capture an image. You can still capture an amazing image, but because you may not like feel just as present in what you're doing. So with film, it really forces you to think about what's going to come out at the end, and that's because of sort of the slowed down process, also because of the cost of the film as well. So that's, I think, the main thing about the process. And then you can also produce an image that's way sharper, has more clarity, more depth of colour, more tonal range than any digital camera can do currently. So some good points.
That's good. What prompted you guys to both set up the company?
It was a dissertation project. I did product design at university, and part of that was thinking about how to make 4x5 photography open source, so anyone could like download the plans for a camera and then make their own. That proved not to be that viable because not everyone has a CNC router in their bedroom. So we decided to make the cameras ourselves using that original design, and a lot of people during the university time was really encouraging. So we put it on Kickstarter. That really kicked off. Loads of people got really interested, and yeah, been going from there. That was about 2.5 years ago. Okay,
and the design we see here, the 8x10, and the 4x5 now, that's now version 2, isn't it?
So it's version, I mean, in terms of prototypes, the 4x5 is probably about version 30 now, but in terms of ones we've released, it's version 2, Okay.
And what changes have there been over the V1 over the V2?
So the newer one's much more lightweight. Everything feels a lot more professional, feels a lot better. The first one was really sort of a beta camera. We sent it out there, got loads of feedback, and then we implemented that feedback and made sort of a much more professional product.
Okay, that's great. So what advantages, if somebody's shooting now digital, wants to get into film, what do they get from shooting film? Like what perspectives, can they change perspectives from the lens point of view?
Yeah, it's essentially like every lens is a tilt shift lens on a large format camera, which is great. So you can play with perspective a lot. A lot of people use it for landscape photography. If you've got sort of trees in the foreground, mountains in the background, you want both to be in focus, but you also want the trees to look straight. You can sort of adjust the tilts and the shifts to produce that, which is something you'd have to have a very expensive lens for.
What would you say to someone, which there's pretty people out there right now thinking, well, I can just do that in Photoshop or Lightroom. I can just photostat. Why would I want to get it right in camera, in one shot?
Because when you shoot with film, you get like a tangible image that you've put all the thought into. You used all of your technical ability out there in the field. You've not taken the picture and then become really good at using Photoshop. It's like, if you want to do that, that's fine, but that's not, I don't know, in my eyes, that's not photography.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So coming from full frame, what is the lens conversion calculation?
It's kind of hard to get your head around, but the easiest way to do it is to look at sort of a 35mm lens conversion chart, so that would be full frame. So it's 3 times what you'd have on 35mm is the equivalent for large format. So a 50mm normal lens on 35 is 150mm thereabouts on 4x5. So 3 times an easy way to do it. There's loads of charts online, so you can look up if you're always sort of wondering.
So who are you aiming this camera at? Who is your demographic?
So we have 2 sort of demographics that stand out quite a lot. The first is sort of a younger photographer who knows about film, knows about digital, they're interested in exploring it. They need something affordable, lightweight, that works really well, so they sort of find us, we give them all the information, get really good at sort of teaching people how they work. and they get into it. And also people who have used to be into film, moved on to digital, sold all their old film gear, and then now are thinking, God, you know what, I really enjoyed shooting film, I kind of miss it. And then they've realised that there's an affordable way to get back into it. So those sort of two groups of people really stand out.
And here we have the new 8x10, which was launched
so that was launched yesterday, yes. We did a Kickstarter for that a few months back, and then opened it up to general public yesterday at 6, yeah.
And how much does this one cost?
This is
right now?
£480.
And the 4x5?
It is 250.
So how much, if it, say like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old is just getting into film, how much do they actually need to get into this, to shoot large format?
Sure, so you're going to need the camera. So say if you want to start with 4x5, camera's 250 quid. Need some film holders, they're about £10-15 each. Start with 2 probably. And then you're going to want a lens. With a lens you can get something older that you want to play around with. The shutter might be a bit slow, but if you learn how that shutter works from experimenting, then you can create some brilliant images. You could spend anything between sort of 50 to 20,000 on a lens, so start at the lower end and work your way up. So you could get everything going that you need, plus some film for maybe £350 if you've already got a tripod.
So that's shooting the old way, and we've realised today there is a new way of shooting.
Yes.
What are your thoughts now on the Fujifilm GFX Adapter after playing around with it?
So yeah, we've had an afternoon full of playing around with it. It's been really fun to play around with it. I was really impressed with the quality of the build of it. It's got some really nice features for shifting along, and it felt really sturdy. I think we both noticed that it could have done with a bit more instruction on how to get it to work. So we stuck it on the back of the camera and realised that because it shifts the focal plane so far back, the lenses on the 4x5 need to go so much further back, but they're crashing into the back of the camera, which is not a problem you'd have if you were shooting film because the film's in the correct position. So the main thing I think people need is a recessed board, which we've realised, so that pushes the lens further back into the camera, so the body of the camera moves further forwards, so that means the camera will work properly.
Yeah. And we spent the afternoon doing that.
We spent the afternoon figuring that one out. Yeah.
So we realised that you can get down to 90mm
on a recessed
board.
But you can use sort of 150mm, 180mm. We used a 210 without a recessed board, and that was amazing for portraits, but it's not going to work so well for landscapes.
No. What's the current lead time if somebody was, I mean this was launched yesterday, the 8x10.
Yeah.
What's the lead time now on these?
So we've had huge demand for the 8x10, so the lead time's gone up to 12 weeks, unfortunately, because we're a small team, but they're all handmade, they're all checked by us. Like sheets of wood, aluminium, glass come into the workshop and we turn them into cameras. So yes, it's about 12 weeks for the 8x10, but it's worth the wait. And the 4x5 currently is 3 weeks, so that's much quicker. If you want to start with a 4x5, yeah, you can get one in your hands quite soon.
Great. Okay, so if somebody, I've got some followers on my channel that are overseas. If they wanted to get into film, obviously we're in the UK right here in Brighton. How do they go about shipping? Do they have to pay tax? What's the current?
That's actually a really good question. So we ship internationally. Our bulk of our customers are in the US. Last 2 months we shipped over 80% of the cameras outside of the UK. So if you're outside of the EU, it's automatically 20% off all the listed prices on the website because you don't have to pay the tax. Shipping is, we keep as affordable as possible. We don't make any money on shipping, we just charge you exactly what it costs us.
Yeah, and after this video, if somebody watched right now and went, yep, I want the 4x5, is it 3 weeks to delivery or is it 3 weeks to ship?
So it's 3 weeks to ship, but we use a fast service, so it takes 2 to 3 days to reach the US, and international, EU about the same, and UK next day.
I take my Intrepid up to Scotland this week.
Nice one.
And Max has done a wicked job. We've played around with it all day today.
Yeah, I think we've got our heads around it, yeah.
Finally got our heads around it. I just need to get an adapter for the lens that I currently bought, and then we're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you produce.
So yes, that's it today then, guys. So from me and Max, thank you very much, Max. I will keep you updated with
Great, looking forward to it.
And for the guys that are on the camera in the US or around the world, catch Intrepid. Is it just Intrepid at Intrepid on Instagram?
On Instagram it's at Intrepid Camera Co.
And on Twitter it's?
Intrepid Camera.
There you go.
Cool.
There you go, guys. You heard it from the guy himself. Let's go. Alright guys, that's it for today. Catch you in the next one. What kind of guarantee do people get if they're looking to get?
Yeah, sure. So we've got quite a simple sort of warranty guarantee structure. If anything goes wrong with the camera, for as long as you have it and as long as we're around, that was our fault, just ship it to us, we'll cover your cost of postage, we'll fix it, ship it right back out to you. If you do anything to break the camera whilst you're out on a trip and you're experimenting with it, you're trying out something cool, again, just ship it to us, we'll fix it. If you do something daft, like drop it down a hill or something like that, and then we will ask you to cover the cost of posting it to us, but we'll still fix it for free. And we've got loads of spare parts. These cameras are really sort of detachable, really easy to repair, but they're really rugged, so they last. But yeah, we don't want anyone to feel like they've got a camera that they can't sort of use and be precious about, so we're always happy to fix it.